Who parks a truck out of fuel and then goes to Arizona for the winter?
Hi, I'm Tony Fastdaughter. I'm Tony Fastdaughter. I'm Tony Fastdaughter. My family's been blessed to farm in Montana for over 100 years now, and it wouldn't be possible without the great team we have and blessings from our Savior Jesus Christ.
Morning. New addition to the farm. Not the windmill. He's been here for 100 years, but 18 degrees this morning. Well, yesterday Colin unhooked the belly dump from the teal truck, got hooked up to the gray Wilson. So I'm gonna get that fired up. We got oil checked last night. It was dark. It was still evening. I hate it when it gets dark so early here, but fire it up. Make sure the hoppers are cleaned out. We'll go get the conveyor ready. Well, that was uneventful. Well, we'll get this oil seed conveyor taken over there since hemp's an oil seed. This will work better. It's set up for canola and different things like that, so won't hurt the belt, won't gum up on the rollers. It's got a bunch of wipers in there, so it's a little bit noisier because those wipers clean out the shafts, but it's a lot better option for canola and apparently hemp. That's the most important part. Right, Colin? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch a harvest video. Colin had an oopsie. A big oopsie. I think this tire thinks it's my tractor. Well, just got to Fort Benton here. We're gonna get on the hemp unloaded and go check out the facility here. Kind of use a cool system. They use air, which is something we're not used to at home. Not using augers and conveyors, but it's a slower system, but it works good in their tight, confined space they have here. Inside the processing plant here for the grain. This is Patrick. You run the facility?
I do. I'm the operations manager for IND Hemp.
Okay, so we're gonna go check out all the processes inside here, and hopefully you guys can hear what we're talking about. So what's the first step when the grain comes in from the holding bins?
First step from the bulk storage tanks is into our seed cleaning line. We are a certified seed cleaner here in the state of Montana. So it comes into an aspirator, then into a seed conveyor, then we move forward to a gravity table, and then a destoner.
So all the grain gets cleaned first step, and then it has two options, right?
That is correct. Actually, there's three.
Okay.
We have the option to either bag seed and sell it as is, or we can process that seed for parts, or extract the oil out of it.
Okay. So we're going to check out the hemp part line first.
Correct. The first step in this process is dehulling the seed. That is accomplished by a centrifugal dehuller. Then we go through a series of screen decks and a destoner to sort the seed. The seed is then finally passed through a color sorter for a final sort. From that we get a finished product, a clean heart or a market grade heart, and we also package the hulls for sale as well.
So the final step is basically color sorting before it goes into a packaging
That is correct.
And how many shades did you tell me this will sort?
18 billion.
18 billion different shades that can be programmed to color out. So
that's correct. And not only that, but it will distinguish shape, size, whether it's oblong, round.
So this is how you get your pure hemp heart to be consistent colors.
Correct.
And what the buyer wants.
That's correct. We can make every variation of hemp heart from a, let's say a 50-50 white-green mix to a pure white heart.
That's what the color sorter does all that for you.
That's correct.
So that's pretty close to a consistent white.
Yeah.
Get it a little more colored out if you wanted to, probably.
That's correct. This is actually what we consider our market grade heart. It's probably a little more white than what you would see it, you know, say your typical bag from Costco or something of that nature. But we're just trying to create a little better product for the consumer.
Okay. So that's pretty much the whole hemp heart side of stuff.
Correct.
And the other process is oil.
Is oil. So the first step of doing the oil starts like similar to the way the heart's in, but it starts with a color sorter.
Okay.
So we run the product from one of our holding tanks into that color sorter. From there, it moves forward down a series of augers and conventional grain equipment at that point to the presses themselves. Once the grain is in the presses, we extrude the oil. The oil is held in a holding tank. After expelling the oil, the cake material, the protein, the shell of the seed is extruded out the back of the press. That is then pulverized and then sent through a air classifier, in which stage we separate out a high grade and a low grade protein. And then those go directly into packaging from that process. Our oil from there goes through a filtration process from that crew tank and then into one of the two holding tanks that we have. From there it can be bottled, and we have the capability to bottle anything from a small tincture bottle all the way up to 264 gallon totes.
So this is a color sorter, and this, you're basically trying to take any foreign material besides hemp out and maybe anything that wouldn't have any hemp content.
That's correct. That's correct.
Oil content.
Its main purpose is to remove wheat. That is why it's here.
Because you want to gluten-free product.
That is correct.
Okay.
The seed enters the press. Inside these presses, there's a series of dies, flightings. Flightings obviously are moving the seed forward. The dies get progressively larger as you get closer to the rear of the machine. And it's just exerting pressure on that seed, and essentially we're just crushing that seed and to extrude the oil. The oil is expelled out of the outside of the press. You can visually see that coming through the bars. The cake is then extruded out the front side of the press and drops down below us. From there it goes to a hammer mill to be pulverized, and then we send it through some classification equipment to separate out the high grade and the low grade proteins. This is a screen deck. It is here to simply size the high grade protein so we get a consistent product. Okay. A very smooth flour-like, baking flour-like consistency to our product all the time. And then the hopper behind me is that's where we load out our P30 or 30% protein, which we call seed meal.
So that's basically if you wanted to use that for chicken feed, cow feed.
That's correct.
That's cattle feed, and this is a human consumption side.
That's correct.
Cool. Well, let's go look at some different what you guys are all making as an end product.
Yeah, great. We're looking at hemp hearts, what we would call our market grade heart. So this would be a finished product that would go to one of our consumers. And then these here are wholes, which we sell into the equine world right now. The components of oil, obviously we extract. This is what we're after, is the oil. Your byproducts of producing the oil is your protein cake. This is in its raw form as it is expelled from the press. And then once it goes through our hammer mill and our classification system, we end up with two products. This is our lower grade protein. It's what we call seed meal. It's around 30% protein. And this one here is what we call P50, and this one's 50% or greater protein.
Well, made it back last night and figured out the bad battery problem, or the truck going dead problem.
What?
We're loading up chickpeas and could smell it.
Oh.
It was gassing off. It was a little warm, so pulled the battery off there. And then the suspension on the trailer was dumped while they were dumping the hemp, which isn't out of the ordinary for dumping trailers. But then when I went to go move it, I flipped the switch, and then that dumped the air. So there was a leak on an airbag on that new trailer, newer-ish trailer. So we had to bypass that bag with a splicer. So, like, trucks are on great until you need them, right?
Yeah.
Or get a long ways from home.
Yeah. A real long ways from home.
So let's go load that chickpea seed. You sleepy yet?
Yeah, I am.
What do you do all day when you get home?
Sleep.
It's a little chilly to try to start that truck, I think. So we've just plugged it in. We're gonna go over and see if we can get finished up on the road. Well, we're done with roads, field edges. We can get leveled off on field edges and a couple more rock pile loads to clean up. And it's supposed to snow tomorrow. Well, yesterday just got away from me and I didn't do any filming. We did finish up the project for this year. Be able to farm those fields all together that we want to. Got the section lines all tore up. We do need to smooth one out with the road grader in the spring yet, but brought the road grader home. Want to get our driveway done before it freezes up and snows. It's supposed to snow today, like maybe up to 4 or 5 inches. I don't know, I keep on changing the forecast, but I need to get these chickpeas unloaded into that white truck over there. Plugged that in yesterday morning. Hopefully it'll start today. And then, yeah, just get a few things cleaned up before weather changes. I was sitting on the back of the trailer after I unloaded the skid steer last night. How does that just rattle off driving across the yard? Huh. So all said and done over there, we turned 120 of existing line into a full quarter that we all own now. That's attached to a half section, so that makes that field a full like 460. Turned a half section into, oh, it'd be 540-ish, something like that. So make some nice big fields out of some fields we already had. So we kind of completed the sections, or the quarter sections, made them all one. So altogether, that farm adds about 1,200, 1,300 acres to our farm. So really fortunate to have been able to get that bought up this year. Come on. Seems to have been plugged in all day and night. Huh. Thing has always been so cold-blooded. Old 855 Cummins in this thing. Once she's running, she's good, but not good right now. So one of the things on the agenda, as I'm walking by here to go to pick up to jump start that truck, we're gonna paint the frame on this truck. It needs it, get a little rusty, the 5th wheel plate. It's getting scaly between there and kind of spreading out from the frame, so that needs to get fixed for sure. But I'm thinking I might deck this frame. I'm just not really sure with what yet. So if you got some ideas, put them in the comments below. Don't think I want to do stainless steel just because we always got rocks in our boots or whatever. I don't want it all scratched up and spend that kind of money on that. So if anybody else has any other ideas, I don't know. I'm just looking for ideas. It normally starts if it spins over that much. I think it's out of fuel. Who parks a truck out of fuel? And then goes to Arizona for the winter. Thanks, Dad. I think we're out of ether. Boy, that's getting to be pretty wore down. Whoa. This truck does not go very far, obviously. But this one's new. That was easy. See if it'll blow any smoke rings this morning. Oh yeah. Every once in a while it shoots up a smoke ring. Might be a little too windy to see him today. We'll go throw a little fuel in this to get at least a half a tank. It doesn't get driven much. It has 82,350 miles on it. Original miles. The filter, I noticed when I changed that ether can out, said the oil was changed in 2012 with 80,700 miles. So what is that? 1,600 miles in almost 9 years? Something like that. So yeah. I don't know. Should change oil more often than that, but it's expensive for miles to do that. It doesn't get driven at all. Well, I've got the white truck, the green truck, and the teal truck running, put power service in all the trucks. Dad's two trucks, the blue one and the purple one, were a little bit low on voltage, so I put battery chargers on those before I tried starting them. I'm gonna go do some road grading before we can't anymore. That berm's in the way on the edge of the shoulder, and that'll cause some trouble with plowing snow this winter if we need to, so it's a little rough. I'll try and get that all smoothed out before it freezes. Still not ready to start. Batteries are really dead. Huh. Weird. Done with the road grading and heading over to put this seed in another shed. So start some garbage on here and keep it inside for the winter. It's really getting after it snowing now. This is gonna be great. Little insulation over the top of that winter wheat is what we need. It's supposed to be below zero this next week, so that's what we hope for. Have some snow cover before it gets real cold. That way that just has a lot better chance of survival. Let's see if we can get these trucks to start. Oh, this acts like a lost prime. Come on. Well, no luck with that blue truck getting it started. I put a battery tender on the other one just to trickle charge it, make sure we don't have the batteries freezing. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to build fuel pressure, so we'll have to figure that out. Probably get it going next week and then fill the tanks and then see if we figure out where the leak's at. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, Farm hard, pray harder. See you next video. It's getting deep, fish.